We have to talk. This is something else. I need your help. Are you sure this isn't something you can handle yourself? I'm sure. Miles, this is crazy!
We call it a symbiote, and it chose you.
Right, Insomniac's Spider-Man 2, finally doing it. After about a year after playing it, I felt like it needed to get off the ground, and also the fact that as of me recording this last week, Tony Todd, who voiced Venom, passed away. So it felt like, all right, let's do this. Okay, so this takes place, I think, a little bit after the events of Miles Morales, and I've played both the first game and Miles Morales. I actually reviewed them here, and I pre-ordered 2, and then I realized, oh wait, I need to play Miles Morales, so I binged through that game like crazy, and then went to do 2. And what's actually interesting is that I've done everything in the first game and in 2, but I didn't do everything in Miles Morales because I was in a little bit of a hurry trying to eventually play the second one, because I knew the internet was going to start spoiling stuff, and sure enough, I was right. But luckily, at that point, I had already played enough of it, so all the spoilers that I did see, I already knew, so yay. But anyway, so I remember when this was announced, there was a lot of speculation because we didn't think that they were going to do a second one. We thought, like, okay, Miles Morales, that was kind of the spin-off, and we never thought they were going to do another one. And then for I think it was the PlayStation showcase, they announced this and a Wolverine game, and it was like, guys, you not only took this PlayStation showcase, you guys, Insomniac, you guys won it, but the fact that they were secretly working on both games at the same time, and they were even saying, like, the second we're done with 2, we're starting production with Wolverine. So, and they even said, like, they plan to make Wolverine an M-rated game, but they're doing it in the same engine and I believe in the same universe as their Spider-Man series. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyway, so this takes place a little bit after the events of Miles Morales. The two of them are going out, being Spider-Man, being awesome, and a new threat has arisen where Kraven the Hunter, he's in the wood, he's in the jungle, and he's like, I'm bored. I need new competition. I need new prey. So then he finds out about Spider-Man, but also every villain, everybody associated with Spider-Man in New York City. So he gathers everybody up and just goes there because he lives to hunt. But while that's happening, something regarding a certain symbiote is rising beneath all their noses. And oh boy. All right. So I want to get this out of the way first. The Venom movies that Sony had been producing, the trilogy, I still have not seen 3, but I did see 1 and 2. Personally, I think they suck because I don't think they're really good representations of the character of Venom, where they're supposed to be ruthless, they're supposed to be brutal, and there are times where Venom does that, but they put this kind of lame 90s ABC sitcom, like lazy 90s ABC sitcom over everything they're doing, and it just does not work for me. This is exactly what I feel fans of Venom needed. because Sony really wasn't doing it correctly with the movies. So Insomniac stepped in and said, "Hey, it's okay." Like they they went up to Venom fans, tapped them on the shoulder, and just said, like, patted them on the shoulder, and was just like, "It's okay. We're taking care of this. We're doing it right." And my God, did they do it extremely well done. They did an amazing job, not only capturing what is great about Venom, but also that Venom is brutal. He's ruthless. He doesn't care. He just keeps going. Like, just wants to create, I guess you could say, carnage. But also, Insomniac does an incredible job with not just the main villains, but also, like, a lot of the side villains too. You know, I feel like in 2 they did a much better job than they did in 1. I feel like 1, they had a lot of pressure underneath them because Insomniac really didn't do something like this. They were more known for doing something like cartoony, like Ratchet and Clank, or I think even, you know, something like Sunset Overdrive, where it was very over the top, or even something like Resistance, where I think was probably their more like down to earth, like grounded type of thing. So when they did the first one, it was like all eyes were on them, and man, did they knock it out of the park. It was, as I think I said, it was amazing. And so with this, they've proven themselves like, hey, we can actually take risks. Hey, let's actually make them in danger. Let's make the audiences think. Let's make the players worried. And that's something that's been missing in a lot of superhero stuff, where you don't know who's going to get offed. And with the games that Insomniac has been making for Spider-Man, you don't know who's going to get offed. And that's what keeps you on edge. So, and it makes you really more invested in the story. And, you know, even like villains, like, they're in the background. It's like, oh, that's actually a nice way of kind of putting them in there. Like in this one, there's a thing where you can go and find all of Mysterio's, like, carnival huts, and once you do that, there's a backstory to it, and it's like, oh, that's really interesting. And also, like, some of the villains that, like, you faced in the first game come back, and you're like, oh, they're actually they're not evil now. Like in the first one, like, you know, Black Cat is there. It's one of the DLCs. But in here, you realize what she's doing is she's trying to be good again. She's trying to correct what she's done wrong. The same thing with Tombstone, where with I think it was the first one. You know, he didn't know any better. But now in 2, you meet him at Coney Island, and he's helping out, and it's like, huh. That's actually kind of cool. I like seeing that. Like, they're trying to turn their lives around. Like, no, that's really cool. And I like how they're just in the background, so it's just kind of like a hey, there they are. Like, okay, like, see ya, and then they're gone. But what I was really engaged with this game was the story. Is that I didn't know where things were going to go. I, you know, of course, I knew that, you know, Peter was going to get the symbiote, but other than that, like, I didn't know what was going to happen, like, how this was going to affect everybody around him and all the characters. It kept me on edge, and I don't want to give the story away, even though it's already been like a year old. It's one of those things where you either need to see it for yourself or play it for yourself, hopefully, because there's a certain part, like, I'll say this, when Venom first, like, pops in, there's a certain thing where, I'll say this, you get to play him for a little bit. Man, it was awesome. And just, you get to be Venom for that short, brief period of time, unless you hacked the game, and you just mow down people like it's nothing. And some of the, like, moves that he does, is like, whoa, they're pushing it. Like, they're pushing this T rating, aren't they? And it's like, yes, that's exactly what the character of Venom is supposed to be ruthless. It was kind of supposed to be like, this is an R-rated character that you can get away with a little bit when it comes to PG-13 type stuff, but he feels more like freedom if he's in an R-rated setting. And because, they did the first 2 games with this one, they were able to do more stuff like that. And they were realizing, like, okay, the audiences can now handle this kind of thing, which is great. I love how they planned all this out. And I mean, this is honestly, they took the things that I didn't like about the first one and fixed it. So honestly, I think this one is better than the first one. And that's saying a lot, because the first one was so amazing. It was like, it can't get any better than this. And then Insomniac just went, hold my beer, and they did this one. So every like the little nitpicks that I had with the first one, they fixed it, and it was just incredible the way they did it. And the fact they've already announced a third one, and the third one will be the final in the trilogy, you bet I am going to pre-order that, but we're probably going to have to wait a little bit. But, this was a terrific game, and, Tony Todd, you are definitely Venom, man.
Get it off of him!
Ready for your annual physical? I'm the hero here, not you.
The hell's going on with Pete?
You're not yourself.
You want to join us?
He's here.
Walk down the whole building!
I know I can snap him out of this!
We can fight this together!